Hey guys, what's up? Jimmy here with another video. I am super happy to be able to show for you guys today an incredible game collection of about 2,000 games. Today I'm here with Dustin. Dustin, thanks so much for joining us today.
No problem. Thanks for coming.
This is pretty insane, guys. So, you guys have seen my collection. I've got a lot of games for like a lot of the consoles, but Dustin's is so varied. He's got PS1, PS2, he's got Nintendo 64, he's got Game Boy games, of course NES, Super Nintendo. You got all the generations here, and it's pretty impressive. You're looking at right now some of the footage that we captured earlier. Some really impressive games that he was going to be able to get. And Dustin just didn't, get a bunch of games just to pad his collection. These were games that he was specifically interested in. This isn't, as you would say, shovelware. These are really impressive titles. And right now we're actually going to go with several of the games in his collection that he's most proud of, the games that you might not be able to find every day in game stores. So the first one we're going to go over is the Misadventures of Trombone. Now, Dustin, actually, how did you come across this one?
That was one I'd been looking for a long time. It was one that I really wanted to get, and I found it in a lot. And this game now is probably one of the most sought-after games for PS1. But the lot that I got it in was even more impressive because it came with Mega Man Legends 1 and 2, Mega Man 64, complete in box for the N64, and I want to say it also had an N64 with, and a PS1 with the lot.
That's quite the lot.
I want to say I got the whole lot for about $150.
Oh my gosh.
So that's definitely worthwhile.
Incredible. Next up we got another Sega Genesis game. I've never seen this one before actually, but apparently something pretty special. I looked at the back and was really impressed. It looked like a cross between like almost a Zelda and Utopia. But Dustin, what could you tell me about this one?
Well, Atlas published this game. It was marketed as the Zelda killer. It was supposed to contend with Link to the Past, and it was supposed to be basically the rival to Legend of Zelda, and it was supposed to be the big break for Sega in regards to action RPGs. It never really took off because it ended up being fairly uncommon and came out fairly late in the Genesis life. But it's an amazing game, amazing soundtrack, and it's definitely worth playing.
Awesome. Okay, so next up we have Castlevania Dracula X. Tell me about this one and why it's extra special.
So this one's extra special because it is mint sealed in box. I'm not a big sealed complete games collector, but I just happened across the opportunity to be able to pick this one up. I already had a loose cart, so I can play the game, and I'm a big Castlevania fan, so being able to actually have a sealed copy of this game specifically being the most uncommon Castlevania game, I couldn't pass it up.
Yeah, and it's more than just sealed. This is a great Castlevania game.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah. Next up we have Pure Solar for the Sega Genesis. So Dustin, tell us about this title right here.
Well, this title's a little interesting because it came out about 20 years after the Sega actually stopped coming out with new games. Watermelon, who developed it, they were very loving in what they did with it. It's very akin to working designs back in the day. The packaging is great. It comes with the soundtrack. The soundtrack will actually enhance in the Sega CD, so you can play it in the Sega CD and enhance the soundtrack to the game, which is amazing use of the technology that was never utilized back then. And the thing that's interesting about this one is it's actually the first print. It's the very original run of the game that they did. Since then, they've released it on Steam, they've released it on Dreamcast and things like that. But pretty proud to be able to have one of the first copies of the newest Sega Genesis game to come out.
Awesome. Incredible. Okay, so our final game, I'm actually a little bit nervous holding this one. Of course, it's SpiderMan on the Sega Genesis. Something about this makes it extra special. What can you tell us about your copy of Spider-Man on the Genesis?
So, this is my original copy of Spider-Man. I loved this game growing up, and, well, I had the opportunity to meet Stan the Man Lee, and he was able to sign this for me at Albuquerque Comic Expo when he came here. I mean, it's pretty irreplaceable. Stan Lee isn't really touring anymore. He's 93 years old. This is something that's pretty sentimental to me in that it's irreplaceable in my collection.
Absolutely. This is something really special to have. So guys, there I just want to show some of the gems, really sweet games in Dustin's collection, and I just want to thank Dustin. Dustin, thanks so much for letting me see your collection.
Absolutely.
And it's something that hopefully I would just aspire to have half of someday in my life. But as always, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you later.
Take care.